Ooh, spoiler jump scare. All right. So, Valheim is great. But today in this video, we're gonna be talking about this video. As you can see in the YouTuber, the creator. So go support him, leave some love, possibly some more suggestions. This is not a hit piece. That's not the intent. Control yourselves. That's it. Kind of in the middle of finals week, so it's gonna be a little hectic. So it's gonna be really rough. But I want to talk about this video. But before I do, well, you know what? I'll mention it after. Uh, the Lost World Momenchi. So I could just remember to mention it. Uh, uh, Actually, that'll have to do for now. So, let's watch this. Okay, so originally I was mistaken. I thought this was gonna be about the Jurassic Park 30th anniversary, which it may very well happen. But I don't think it's gonna be its own pack. I'd think there's gonna be more stuff in it than just Manticorp stuff. So let's get right into it.
Tarbosaurus, Nothosaurus, and Smilodon. All of these dinosaurs and more are missing from JWE2. So I have a solution to this. The Jurassic World Evolution 2 Manticorp expansion. Now let's waste no time and see what this could include. Some new species that this expansion could include would be the Nothosaurus, Tarbosaurus, Spinoceratops, and Smilodon. Although the Tarbosaurus did not appear on Manticorp Island or had anything to do with Manticorp, it still appeared in Camp Cretaceous in an adventure, and honestly this expansion is the only place where I can see it fit. It would be similar to the Morris Intrepidus, as it also had nothing to do with Malta, but it still appeared in that expansion anyways. The Tarbosaurus would probably also need a remodel, as in reality it's just a reskin T-Rex.
Uh, well, to avoid copyright, but to also just fill in my own content here, it's not necessarily a reskin of a Rex. There's quite just a bit of distinction here. Of course, spikes, obviously. Eyebrows are more pronounced. The chin is more strong, I guess, a stronger chin. But generally speaking, oh yeah, and color. Other than that, yeah, sounds, of course. I don't get me wrong. I agree with this. I agree with this video so far. There are just some things I want to mention and possibly include, either as its own Manticorp DLC or part of the Jurassic Park 30th anniversary DLC. So I'd really like to add on to it.
Although the Spinoceratops only ever appeared as a baby in the show, it could easily be given an adult model, as seen in Jurassic World Life.
Um, Generally, yes. There also has been interpretations of Spinoceratops kind of in its adult form. So unless the CC team just just flat out posts, here's the adult model, and that's it. Other than that, I think it's pretty easy for them to interpret. Hopefully they don't go overboard like what they did with, what the fuck was it? Stegoceratops or Enchilodicus. Enchilodicus is too plain. Stegoceratops is too much. I think they really screwed up. It's not. It's the skins are all right. I think honestly, if they went with the Nizudo Ceratops or the Nizudo Ceratops, kind of go with it, have been so much fucking better. Like the actual canon design. I'd like to also add on to other hybrids. I'm okay with one creatively made Frontier original hybrid, but other than that, only the other canon hybrids. You know, things like we see it in Jurassic World uh, computer hybrids. I don't know, hybrids. Just to keep it simple. So perfect. Here you go. Of course, Stegoceratops is probably amongst the most known one. Let's show this picture because it's easier to see. They could have this, of course. Let's take a look at this one. This one looks a little more. We could also use the scrapped version as well. So a scrapped Indominus Rex creature. I feel like that's a little more missing, not necessarily the point or where they want to go. For the simple fact of, we're kind of adding species that don't really need adding because it's scrapped. However, with like things like the actual hybrids that are not originally changed, like this guy, the Therizinosaurus hybrid or Pachy hybrid, which I'm a little iffy on the Pachy. I feel like it's too weird unless it's. I could see it being hybridized with either a large carnivore, which that's what I'm getting implied by its snout, maybe like a Dilophosaurus or a Crelophosaurus. Jesus, my voice gift. Because there's like a little snaggletooth, so possibly something could go on with that, like a little notch here. So it could be a mix of I don't know, a Pachy and some sort of piscivore, or it could be a Pachycephalosaurus and a Hadrosaur of some kind. Jesus, I forgot I have sound on this. Why is that on? I'm muting that. All right. So of course this goes into GP 30th anniversary, by the way, not just Manticorp. So that's why I'm talking about this. It'd be kind of cool to see like a bigger Pachycephalosaur, like really big, not like raptor size, but maybe, I don't know, CRETACEOUS size or something. So that'd be kind of interesting. Of course, Theri hybrid. We have all these animals by now, so it's very reasonable for them to, well, I keep on thinking like gameplay terms. Okay, we have these animals, we can now hybridize them and make these creatures, these canon hybrids. Hybrids are a little mixed bag with the community. Like, we don't want it because they'll be ugly. We want pure shit. I mean, fair enough, but I'm on the side of at least having the canon shit and one creatively thought hybrid from Frontier. Honestly, that and that's it. No more hybrids after that. But moving on, back to the video.
Nothosaurus could also introduce a mechanic that will allow dinosaurs to enter and swim in a lagoon.
I have talked about this in the Discord before, I got banned. Where it kind of functions as its own lagoon. It doesn't connect to the actual lagoon. It's kind of like its own little thing. Where it gives you a landmass, which you could kind of customize, where the animals can kind of walk on, and kind of thrive and occasionally go swim. Or we could do a deep water tool. I think the deep water tool would have been better, but the coding it seems a little weird, so probably having its own little enclosure would be best fit. So yeah, not necessarily the lagoon itself, but like a different version. Like I'm gonna call it land water or whatever, waterland.
Which would open the door for more semi-aquatic animals to be entered, such as Sarcosuchus and Deinosuchus. Finally, Smilodon.
To add on to that, it could also revamp things like the Baryonyx, Spinosaurus, and Suchomimus. I'm not too sure if we have any others that could be aquatic. That nothing really comes to mind. Maybe Spinoceratops, but I feel like the body doesn't really seem like it would work really well unless it'd be like hippo movement. I don't see it working anywhere else for Spinoceratops, but I'll leave that alone. I think it'd be kind of cool to have it work as a hippo and that be that.
If it was added, it would be the first mammal and Cenozoic species ever to be added to the game, which could open the door for more Cenozoic species to be added.
Also, you got to keep in mind, for the current hypothesis of DLCs to be added, I think there is 4 or 3 remaining slots for DLCs left before support gets cut off. However, it may change because Jurassic World Evolution 3 seems unlikely, so I'm not going to say it's possible that there will be additional slots to be introduced. So hopefully that is the case, but I'm not too sure if it will happen or not. So other than that, though, let's keep going. A lot of people in the official Discord have a lot of complications when it comes to Smilodon. It's like, we don't want it because it would be a sore thumb and all that. And whenever you bring up Dimetrodon, they then go to, well, it's misconstrued as a dinosaur. It's like, okay. And people thought cavemen and Smilodon all walked alongside dinosaurs. That doesn't mean it's somehow fucking true. Yeah, so that's a pretty bad excuse, in my general opinion. It's really weak and low-hanging fruit. So, but Smilodon is a pretty good choice, and it'd be interesting on how it would work. I feel like combat for things like Dimetrodon is pretty bad. There's no real kill animations other than maybe for Homocephalae and goats. But other than that, there's really no other animations. It just looks kind of weird. It's kind of wonky. And some people have used that as like, well, Smilodon would be kind of funky too. I mean, you're not going to point at Dimetrodon, but you're going to point at Smilodon. And don't see, like, well, they're both canon. Not only that, but they're both going to be wonky. A lot of the animals are, and a lot of the small animals, Moros and the newer feathered guy, have a hard time living if you're having a open world kind of map and not necessarily contain anything. They panic a fucking lot, and they have a hard time eating. I think you literally have to make your own little mini biome for them to not starve to death. The only small animal, like mega small animal, that could survive and be fine is Compy, the Compsognathus. Other than that, they're fucked. You literally have to babysit them. I would know this because I literally have to do it every time I open Sandbox. I don't like having parks as like the big deal. But let's keep going. We're kind of stun locked at the moment.
Some skins and variants that we could see in this expansion could be Little Edie, as it was strangely missing from the Camp Cretaceous dinosaur.
While I could see the argument of it being, well, it's just going to be a repeat of other skins in game, I think it's fair enough to have it included, because not only the scars, that would be pretty cool, but the eyes are very different. If you pay attention to Big Edie, the eye is very different from the actual Rex itself.
Mr. Pack. We could also see a scarred Toro and a burnt Toro skin.
I'm a little iffy on this one. I'm okay. I guess that could be fine, but I feel like it's wasted. It's wasted slots for potentially better additions. I think these two are the wasted parts. While I could see kind of what you want here, I don't mind it, but I feel like it's kind of wasted. But, I mean, I do kind of want a JP3, like an actual skin dedicated to the JP3 Spinosaur. Because, well, we don't have the scar from the plane. We are missing blood marks, the bite mark on the neck from the Rex. And probably several other injuries. And I'd really love to see just like a JP3 Spino skin. And no one fucking actually brings it up. And honestly, Rexy is the only skin that has scars. So it's very possible that we get our own other skins that have injuries. I was kind of preaching about having Metal Claw having its own skin, and if you don't know what that is, hold on, I brain farted here. Jurassic World Dominion Baryonyx. You see that it has a metal arm. I'll just use this as an example, but you'll know what I'm talking about. This as a skin. And people said, well, it's the baby. So was the Allosaurus from Fallen Kingdom when it was added. It was also technically a juvenile. But you don't complain about that. So it's simply upsizing it, keeping the head kind of unique, because it does have like a unique head. Of course, it's age-based, but fuck it, might as well. Of course, the arm as well. So, honestly, I was really surprised about Dimorphodon being added. But anyways, having the metal claw, I think will be a cool skin, to be honest. I would use Baryonyx a lot more religiously if he had that skin. I think it adds character. People complain about, people give dinosaurs names in the series. I don't understand why people complain about it so much. It's simply due to identifying specific animals, like Blue or Rexy. It's simple identification of that particular animal, not the species itself. I don't know why it's so hard to kind of comprehend that. But anyways, I think some of these skins that have injuries would be kind of cool to have just there. Another animal or two other skins that do have injuries are the Allosaurus movie skin and the demon skin for Carno. So it could be very well possible we get injury-based skins like Spinosaurus or Toro. So I'm a little iffy on this. I think this is honestly a wasted slot. I think it'd be better just to update the CC DLC and give Toro his skins, and not have Manticorp DLC based on Toro, or to include these.
As they were also missing. An Angel.
Sorry for I went on a rant.
Rebel skin could also be added.
I think these are almost like a given. Yeah, I think these are almost like a given. You can't really just add Spinoceratops and not have these. Would also be kind of interesting if they have Spinosaurus skins, like equipped to it, or like the JP3 skin. There has been concept art. Hold on. Camp Cretaceous Spinoceratops JP3 skin. I don't know what to look for here. Oh, here we go. Fucking perfect. Oh, that's low res, lame. That's even worse somehow. I don't know how you could get it worse. Honestly, you get the point. Yeah. You get the point. Something like that would be kind of cool to have on Spinoceratops. I swear to God, JP3 colorations just slap. They are natural slappers.
That they would only be added on top of the adult model.
Yeah, I think these are almost given.
If you added it as a baby, then people would start to ask for baby models for every dinosaur, which would take a lot of work to add.
Honestly, I don't even want baby models. Honestly. There's really no point.
And honestly, that's only ever appearing in a Jurassic World Evolution 3, if that even comes out.
Yeah, honestly, it's a waste of time. I mean, I guess if you want to do +1 RP, but other than that, there's really no point.
Some new Dilophosaurus skins, one with an orange and yellow field.
I'm a little iffy on this one. I think, honestly, you have a better shot at giving like faithful variants remodels for that original Dilophosaurus by giving it the correct face. Other than that, though, I think this is another wasted slot. Well, to some degree, I think it's the colors seem a little more extreme than the original. So.
And a pink-filled one.
Yeah, I think this one is a good choice, though. I think that's a fair choice to have included.
A new Spinosaurus variant, as it is bigger than the Spinosaurus in the game.
Yes, I agree. And people fucking harp on me so many times when I request the skin or the Lost World Triceratops. Their argument is, well, it's ugly. You see that a lot if you bring it up in the Jurassic World Evolution Discord. They just, well, it's ugly. So, just because it's fucking ugly doesn't necessarily mean it shouldn't be added. Like the 1993 T-Rex skin. That shit looks like dog shit. It still got added. Regardless of how fucking good or how bad you think it is, I think they should all be included for the sake of allowing the player, the fucking consumer who paid money to play this game, allow them to choose whether they want to use it or not. Pound sand. But going on this subject here with Spinosaurus, the skin is very clearly not like the JP3. It could also just represent it being an older Spiny. I call Spiny, the Spinosaurus from JP3 Spiny, just for context. It probably just represents its age, and that's it. Kind of like Rexy, the Rexy skin. So, of course, it'll be more dulled out, just more brown and plain. It could very well have been influenced by the dirt and all that. But so was the Triceratops model in 1993, when it was originally blue, but it was covered in mud. So, you gotta give and take. I'm okay with it being kind of sandy in that manner. However, I think they should add the sounds as well, so it'll be a variant. Because not only the model is different, skin is different, the model will be very different. The snout, obviously, the crest, and the arms will be very different. But having the sounds just kind of being in game alongside JP, like the other Spinosaurus sounds, I think it'd add a lot more flavor to any animal, really, with variants. It adds flavor and diversity with the animals. It could also kind of be used as gender, sexual dimorphism. So, a food for thought. I think this would be a solid addition. Shit. Jesus Christ. Solid addition. Oh, whoops.
We have currently some new Velociraptor skins from the Manicorp Raptors we saw in seasons 4 and 5.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I think, again, these are actually wasted. I think you could just replicate these without problem.
A new Great Ceratops.
Yeah. We could also replicate this already in game. So, a lot of these suggestions, or at least with the Cerato and Dilophosaurus, or not Dilophosaurus, Velociraptors, we can already set those skins to the way they are in the show. So that's a waste slot.
The Saurus skin we saw in season 2, and finally the missing Monolophosaurus skins.
This is a fair addition. I'm okay with the actual Frontier skins, but I want the other show skins other than the green one. For the sake of movie accuracy here. And don't come at me like, well, Monolophosaur only needs one. Bitch, there's like a fucking billion for raptors. There's like, what, 7 for raptors, 5 for Rex. Well, come on, man. Let's be a little fair here.
Saw in season 3, since we only got 2 in the Camp Cretaceous Dinosaur Pack. On another note, if you guys want to see more DLC speculation videos, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now let's continue. New attractions would be amazing, as we only have one. That being the ziplining could make our parks feel more like an amusement park rather.
Yeah, honestly, I think at this point, we kind of have a fair amount of attractions already. We have a pretty fair amount, other than maybe having some sort of hot air balloon, of course, roller coaster, as he's saying. I don't know what else we could possibly do. Yeah, I don't know what else other than props. I just fucking reminded myself that another idea that we could do in terms of like adding flavor to enclosures is having more ruined props. So kind of like what you see in modern day zoos with Komodo dragons or alligators, where it has ruined, I don't know, jeeps, boats, castles, temples. I think having some sort of ruin would be kind of cool to have. Could add flavor. So, I think honestly having like engine ruins, like I don't know, a destroyed jeep or a sunken boat, kind of like what we already have already in the lagoon with the sunken boat. It could be a lot more than just that. So, yeah, let's keep going.
Some new attractions that we could see could be the roller coaster that we saw in Hidden Adventure, which would be really cool to see, and would make our parks feel more like an amusement park. The Cretaceous cruise, which could work like a water tour, and add a river cruise that people have been asking for months and have been begging Frontier to add.
I'm okay with this straightforward, but I feel like it's gonna be a little weird to work with. It's cool as a concept, but we don't really know how it's gonna work in game. It sounds simpler than it is.
The Treetop Hotel, which was seen in Season 1.
That could be also fair enough.
The Gondola lift, which could also work like a monorail.
I don't know how I feel about this one, in all honesty. Because, I mean, if you think about it, where are the 2 points going to be? They're going to have to meet each other at some point. And I'd imagine there'd be kind of like zip lines. One of them is going to have to raise, or some point where they have to connect. They're going to probably have to be tall structures to then send carriages to each other. I don't think it's just going to be as simple as, oh, well, okay, point A to point B, and that's it. How are you going to place these? I don't think it's going to be like simple as, okay, you place one at a lower level than one on top, like on a mountain or something. I don't think it's going to be that simple. It's going to be probably a prop or something artificial and not necessarily part of the environment.
And the Hidden Adventure Tour, which could add animatronics for some of our dinosaurs, more of our more famous dinosaurs such as T-Rex, Velociraptor, maybe sometimes even the more miscellaneous ones like CRETACEOUS.
That could be fair enough. I've been kind of like off the horse a little bit, but I still think we should have, of course, the remaining props like the Rex and Alamosaurus skeletons from the first movie. Of course, some ruins from Shape 3, a camp from The Lost World, shit like that. Animatronics could be cool. Yeah, or like the skeletons from Lockwood's Manor. So, yeah, it's a fair one.
Some new mechanics that we could see could be the Brads and BRADXs. Although people dislike the Brads' inclusion in the Jurassic World canon, I feel like it could be a great game mechanic. It could also easily replace the Ranger team and ACU teams, as we saw that it could stun and tranquilize dinosaurs in the show.
How would it be great mechanics, though? You kind of didn't really... You just said that and kind of left it. I mean, fair enough, you don't want to, like, rant like I am doing, but... What can... It feels like it's going to be a lot more weird. Like, the only real benefit is preventing from I don't know, loss of stars or public viewing. So instead of seeing the Jeep getting destroyed, which if the visitors see the Jeep getting destroyed, they'd be like, whoa, not good, don't like it, very bad, and lower your stars. And these could probably be the one that doesn't really affect star rating. I guess that could work. But I don't know. It seems a little weird. I don't really care for these. I'm more indifferent. I feel like it's a little goofy and kind of ruined my immersion, in all honesty. Or at least with the left one. The right one looks fucking stupid.
Drones could also be added, which could be used to contain escaped dinosaurs and put them back in their enclosures. They could also function as temporary fences and could maybe even force dinosaurs to fight, as seen in when Pierce and Big Edie were.
I don't know. I could probably see it being like and kind of how you set up ranger teams to enclosures. It could just be like if they sense the fence is broken of their contained like enclosure. And if they break that, then they'll be released to control the dinosaur. But I'm not too sure how that'll work. That seems like a really complicated mechanic. In terms of forcing them to fight, I think it's honestly just better to have what they did in the last season, where you just have chips in the minds of the dinosaurs and you just control them with the WAs and D keys. We don't really want to go too complex here, both for the player and the dev team. Let's be fair. This game isn't really meant to be a planet game. It's a very simple game. And that's not a bad thing, by the way. I think honestly just having the mind chips and like you controlling the dinosaurs and where they go and what actions they take would be better than drones. I think drones are a little more weird. I think it'd be more distracting.
Forced to fight in Season 4. Finally, they could also add the control chips for Season 5. My idea for this would be that it would allow you to choose what dinosaurs can do, eat, drink, etc., but not fully control the dinosaur. If it was a one.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess if you're really in the mood to play a third-person dinosaur survival game, you could just use it. So, that's why I'd like this to be a thing, if it ever does. So, you just kind of pretend and have fun. That's it. Nothing too, like, whoa, what game-breaking. That's just to have fun. I could probably see it being reasonable to having it locked behind, I don't know, $2 million and like several tiers to advance to. Because it does seem really OP. I'm going to be straight with you. But in normal gameplay, that's going to be fucking OP. So, just doing it in sandbox and open world would be kind of cool, honestly. You just walk around and scare shit. Roar, spam. Definitely make sound videos a lot easier for me.
Replica like from the show. It would be more similar to the Isle, and you would be basically be playing the Isle in Jurassic World Evolution 2.
The Isle. Okay, that's shit. I forgot about that game. Is it even getting updates? Yeah. But yeah, generally dinosaur survival game, as you already mentioned. I don't think it would be like the Isle, in all honesty. I could probably see it being more like Beast of Bermuda.
But you could also make and add a Manticore building set, like they did for Biosyn in the Dominion Biosyn expansion.
Yeah, but like what would be included though? But like what would be included though in that building set? Like the only thing I could really see being a part of that is maybe shit. I can't really think of anything, honestly. However, I do think biodomes are a big deal. I'm not too sure what the Isla Nublar thing he's referencing. He probably mentioned it, but having biodomes that are just I really like biodomes, in all honesty. I would also like, aviary hatcheries that don't have to attach to aviaries to be placed. Lagoons are one thing, aviaries are different. I think that'd be kind of cool to just have aviary creatures be released into the wild without you having to do some special glitch. But then that biodomes be really nice. I don't think Manta would be getting a skin, not a skin, a building pack or a building set. With Isla Nublar 2016, I want a built-in lagoon like what they did with not Manta. What the fuck? What is it called? The newer place, honestly. Something like that. The most recent desert map. You know what I mean? The built-in lagoon to have your marine animals.
2016 and Manicorp Island 2016. The Isla Nublar map would allow us to build on the entire island, which is something people have been asking for as a super large map.
Again, it's going to be really rough for that to be implemented. Not only that, we kind of already have what we wanted. I think everybody has been kind of chilled out now. While it would have pretty cool to have a whole island as a map, I think we already have that currently with the box size maps. Also, that'll be very laggy. You have to consider how laggy that'd be in terms of gameplay. Because let's see this little cube right here, where my mouse is. That is, let's just say, actually, you know what? It's one of those square maps already. Now we make that whole, know how laggy that shit is, or can be. Now expand that a shit ton. That's gonna be really rough.
The Manicorp Island is unique, as it would be the first map to have multiple biomes, which would allow us to use all foliage and brushes in one map, and maybe in all maps in Sandbox.
That'd be a cool addition. I agree with that. It'd be kind of cool to have all biome brushes, and not just, oh well, you're stuck on this island or this map with what you have on the map currently. But from what I understand it, basically, let's say Nublar and California are together, right? The foliage of one on each map, foliage one, would be overlapping, and they'd be kind of conflicted. So it's gonna be a little weird for them to code. I'm not too sure, not too informed on it. So they might be able to do it, but I don't know. I don't want to speak on that too far and get ahead of myself here.
The campaign would come with this expansion could be one that revolved around the events after Season 5, which would make us restore the order and control all species that are on the island. We could also travel back to Isla Nublar to create a safe environment for the dinosaurs there, but this would also introduce a new mechanic that would make dinosaurs want to be in a specific environment. For example, Angel and Rebel, the Spinoceratops, would like to be in a snow environment, while the Spinosaurus would want to be in a desert environment. This could limit.
Tricky is with the whole Nublar thing is one, I'm kind of breaking immersion because, well, it's either burnt to crisp now, or it just conflict with the Fallen Kingdom line, where it's be like, well, we didn't see any of those animals when removing the animals, the creatures. I think it'd be better just to use Sanctuary, so it could give us Sanctuary as a new map, because it seems like every fucking person forgot about it. Literally, Sanctuary got fucking invented, then got fucked instantly. So, Sanctuary could have a built-in lagoon like I fucking want, and also have grass. It'd have a huge lagoon, so you don't have to worry about placing several lagoons. And that'd be that. And of course, and it'll work for campaign. So you get Sanctuary and Manticorp Island for sandbox and a campaign. So it's a dub.
The amount of disease that dinosaurs have, but also introduce a new complexity to the game. Well, that's all I have for you guys today.
Not gonna lie, I don't think we need complexity. I think honestly we need more tools, like more paths. I'm a little iffy on paths. I don't really give a shit, but since some fans want it, fuck it. I don't mind it. New fences, while I'm a little iffy, honestly, it feels like if we kind of branch too far from the core of the JP and JW, it just becomes basically Prehistoric Kingdom 2. There's really no point. While, of course, use the references like Jurassic Park, the movies, perhaps the books, and use those fences as reference to make the game fences, and not just, okay, well, log fence, glass fence, blah blah blah. Because it just becomes a fucking Zoo Tycoon and not necessarily its own identity, if that makes sense. Other than that, though, I'm gonna keep rambling a little longer. Holy moly, I've been talking for a long time. Well, I hope I didn't tiger. I'm gonna stop. But let's keep going. With Mumunji, I'm just gonna mention these, just bullet point them. I'd like to see the movie Momenchiosaurus. I'd like to see the Lost World Pteranodon. Parasaurolophus. People can't fight me over it, but it's different than what we have in model, in game. It's very different. I don't know why people can fight me on it. All we have in terms of similarities with that and what we have in game is just the skin. I want the model. I don't care if it's skin wrapped or not. I want diversity, and I think this would be a nice fit or a nice addition, because they showed us very well that they are willing to add variants, no matter how similar or different. They even have the Lost World inspired skin for this guy. You're kidding me. Of course, the Pteranodon. Let me show you an image if you guys forgot. I spelled that wrong. I'm embarrassed. So that'd be a cool addition. We also got, what the fuck was it? Triceratops. What happened? Jesus Christ. But yeah, this is what I am referencing here. Yes, I know it's fucking hideous. But regardless of how hideous, ugly, or cool it looks, I think I would like it. I would like to see it in game, for the sake of diversity here. Perhaps a Jurassic World Stegosaurus with it having a low-hanging tail. Other than that, though, I think we have pretty much everything in the movies covered, and we could move on to creative ideas. And that's it. See ya.